Have you ever felt stuck in a place that no longer serves you? Maybe it's a relationship that's lost its spark, a town that feels too small, or a job that drains your soul. You tell yourself, maybe things will change, but deep down, you know they won't. The truth is, comfort can be a trap. It feels safe, predictable, even reassuring. But over time, that safety morphs into stagnation. The same faces, the same phrases, the same routine. It all starts to feel like a cycle you can't break. The scary part, you might not even realize you're stuck. Old relationships, hometowns, and jobs create an illusion of security. They wrap you in nostalgia, whispering, "Stay, this is where you belong." But is it? Think about the last time you truly felt alive. Was it when you were doing something new, something uncertain? Growth demands change, but change requires courage. And most people, well, they settle. They stay in relationships that have run their course because leaving feels too complicated. They stay in towns that stifle them because it's all they've ever known. They stay in jobs that crush their spirit because it pays the bills. But what if staying is the real risk? What if familiarity is the slow poison killing your dreams? Before you know it, years slip away, and you wake up one day realizing you've built a life that no longer excites you. So let's talk about it. Why do old relationships, towns, and jobs keep you trapped? And more importantly, how do you break free? The past has a strange way of seducing us. It plays like an old song in our heads, replaying the good times, the laughs, the moments that made us feel safe. And that's the trap. It convinces us that what we had was better than what could be. Think about an old relationship. Maybe it wasn't perfect, but at least it was familiar. You knew their habits, their quirks, their flaws. And even though you weren't happy, at least you weren't alone. That's how people get stuck. They mistake familiarity for happiness. They assume comfort means contentment, when in reality, it often means complacency. The same thing happens with hometowns. You know every street, every face, every little detail of your surroundings. That predictability makes it easy to stay. But what if that familiarity is suffocating you? What if it's stopping you from growing? Jobs are no different. You've mastered the routine, learned how to navigate the system, and even if you don't love it, at least you know what to expect. But just because something is comfortable doesn't mean it's right. The past has a way of erasing the pain and highlighting only the best parts, making you feel like leaving is a mistake. But here's the truth. Nostalgia is a liar. It keeps you chained to something that no longer fits. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you step into the unknown, when you risk feeling lost so you can find something better. Holding on to the past might feel safe, but it's also the reason you're stuck. So what's stopping you from letting go? If moving on was easy, everyone would do it, but most people don't. They stay in relationships that drain them, jobs that bore them, and places that no longer feel like home. Why? Because letting go feels like losing control. It's stepping into the unknown, and the unknown is terrifying. We tell ourselves stories to justify staying. What if I regret leaving? What if I regret leaving? What if I fail? What if I fail? These questions create an invisible barrier, keeping us locked in situations that no longer serve us. And then there's guilt. Maybe you've built years of history with someone, shared memories, dreams, and promises. Leaving feels like betrayal. Or maybe your hometown is filled with people who expect you to stay. Family members who assume you'll never leave. Walking away might mean disappointing them. Jobs can be the hardest trap of all because society tells us that stability equals success. So even if you hate your job, even if it makes you miserable, at least you have a paycheck, right? But at what cost? Your energy, your happiness, your potential? The fear of letting go isn't just about what we lose. It's about losing a version of ourselves. The version that once believed in that relationship, that job, that place. But here's the thing. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to outgrow people, places, and careers. You don't have to stay the same for the sake of comfort. The fear won't go away completely, but you have to ask yourself, is staying where I am more painful than the fear of leaving? Because if it is, then the decision is already made. Staying in the wrong place too long doesn't just slow you down. It drains you. At first, it's subtle. A little less excitement about your day. A little more irritation with your surroundings. But over time, it compounds. You wake up exhausted, even if you slept well. Your passions fade. You lose the drive to explore, to learn, to grow. It's like your soul is wilting, but you can't quite pinpoint why. Old relationships, stagnant towns, and unfulfilling jobs have a way of suffocating us without us even realizing it. They dull our instincts, making us believe that this is just how life is. You stop expecting more because you've forgotten what more feels like. And here's the scariest part. The longer you stay, the harder it is to leave. Your identity gets wrapped up in the very thing that's holding you back. You start saying things like, I've already invested so much time, or this is just how things are. As if your past choices have to dictate your future. But let me ask you this. What's the real cost of staying? What opportunities are you missing? What experiences are you denying yourself? It's easy to think that staying is the safe choice, but the truth is, staying can be the riskiest decision of all. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that the years slipped by and you never truly lived. The trap of familiarity doesn't just steal your happiness, it steals your time. And that's something you can never get back. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that staying in the same place, whether it's a relationship, a town, or a job, equals stability. We convince ourselves that predictability is security. We convince ourselves that predictability is security. We won't have to face uncertainty. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Stability is an illusion. Relationships that no longer work don't magically fix themselves. Towns that stifle your ambition don't suddenly start offering new opportunities. Jobs that drain your energy don't become fulfilling just because you've been there long enough. We hold on to things that aren't serving us because we fear instability. But the reality is, clinging to something out of fear doesn't make it secure. Makes it a prison. True stability doesn't come from staying in one place. It comes from knowing that you have the ability to adapt, to rebuild, to thrive, no matter where you go. The job you refuse to leave isn't your safety net. Your skills are. The relationship you can't walk away from isn't your foundation. Your self-worth is. The town you refuse to move beyond isn't your only home. The world is. When you stop relying on external factors to make you feel stable, you realize that stability isn't about holding on. It's about having the courage to let go. The strongest people aren't the ones who stay where it's comfortable. They're the ones who walk away when they know they've outgrown something. Because deep down they understand that stability isn't found in the past. It's created by moving forward. Unfinished endings haunt us. The relationships that faded without closure, the jobs we stayed in long past their expiration date, the places we outgrew but never truly left. And the longer we leave things unresolved, the heavier they become. Maybe you've told yourself, I'll leave when the timing is right, or I just need one more sign. But deep down, you already know the answer. You've just been avoiding it. The truth is, most of us don't get perfect closure. We don't get a final conversation that makes it easy to walk away. We don't get a clear signal telling us when to move on. Life isn't a neatly wrapped story. It's messy, unpredictable, and often uncomfortable. But waiting for closure before you leave is like waiting for permission to live your life. You don't need someone else's blessing to move on. You don't need an official ending to step into a new beginning. And here's what most people don't realize. The longer you stay, the more unfinished it becomes. Staying in a job that drains you doesn't lead to a better future. It just deepens the feeling of being stuck. Holding on to an old relationship doesn't revive the love. It just prolongs the pain. Staying in a town that no longer serves you doesn't bring new opportunities. It just reinforces the past. The only way to truly move forward is to decide that the ending is now. It won't feel perfect. It won't feel easy, but it will feel right. And once you let go of what no longer serves you, you make space for something far greater than you ever imagined. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is simple. Starting over is terrifying. It feels like stepping into the unknown with nothing but a fragile sense of hope. You've built so much, Maury's routines, relationships. So the thought of walking away feels like erasing years of your life. But here's the truth. Starting over doesn't mean starting from nothing. It means starting from experience. Everything you've been through, the lessons, the heartbreaks, the wins, the losses, has prepared you for this moment. You are not the same person you were when you first started that relationship, took that job, or settled into that town. You are stronger, wiser, and more capable than you realize. The fear of starting over is rooted in the belief that the past was your peak, that what you had was the best it would ever be. But what if that's not true? What if the best parts of your life haven't happened yet? What if your future holds relationships that feel effortless, careers that ignite your passion, places that awaken a part of you that's been dormant for years? The only way to find out is to let go of what's weighing you down. Fear is always loudest right before a breakthrough. That's how you know you're on the edge of something life-changing. The question isn't whether you're ready. It's whether you're willing. Because once you take that first step, you'll realize something incredible. You were never stuck. You were just afraid to move. Here's something most people won't tell you. When you decide to break free from old relationships, towns, or jobs, not everyone will be happy for you. Some will try to make you feel guilty. Some will question your choices, and some will flat out resist your growth. Why? Because your change threatens their comfort. If you leave an unfulfilling relationship, it forces the other person to confront their own stagnation. If you move out of your hometown, it makes those who stayed wonder if they should have done the same. If you quit a job that drains you, it reminds your coworkers that they could do it too. But they won't. And rather than cheering for your courage, they'll mask their fear as concern. They'll say, "Are you sure you're making the right decision? Or what if you regret this?" But here's what you need to understand. Their doubts have nothing to do with you. They're projecting their own fears, their own limitations, their own unwillingness to take risks. Your decision to leave isn't a betrayal. It's a declaration. A declaration The declaration that you refuse to settle for a life that doesn't excite you. That you're choosing growth over comfort, even if it means stepping into the unknown. And yes, some people will drift away. Some relationships will fade. But the people who truly care about you, they'll understand. They'll support you. And they might even be inspired to make a change themselves. Because real love, real friendship, doesn't hold you back. It cheers you on as you move forward. Let's be real. Leaving isn't easy. Growth hurts. It stretches you in ways you never expected. It forces you to face loneliness, uncertainty, and moments of doubt. There will be nights when you question everything, when you wonder if you made a mistake, when nostalgia tries to pull you back into the past. But here's the thing, staying stuck hurts too. And that pain, it doesn't go away. It lingers. It settles deep into your bones, weighing you down every single day. It's the pain of knowing you're meant for more, but choosing less. The pain of waking up in a life that no longer excites you. The pain of watching time slip through your fingers while you tell yourself, maybe one day. Growth and staying stuck both come with pain. The difference is, one leads to something better, while the other keeps you exactly where you are. One is temporary discomfort that fuels transformation. The other is a slow, steady erosion of your dreams. So ask yourself, which pain do you choose? The short-term discomfort of stepping into the unknown, or the lifelong ache of wondering what could have been? Because at the end of the day, the fear of leaving will never be stronger than the regret of staying too long. Growth isn't supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to be worth it. Now, imagine this. What if you finally left? What if you walked away from the relationship that no longer fulfilled you? The town that held you back? The job that drained your soul? What would life look like then? At first, it might feel terrifying. You'll feel untethered, like you're floating between the life you had and the life you had and the life you're creating. But then, something incredible happens. You begin to breathe again. The weight that's been pressing down on you for years starts to lift. You wake up feeling excited instead of exhausted. You start to see possibility where there used to be fear. And slowly, you remember who you were before you got stuck. The truth is, the life you want isn't waiting for you in the past. It's not in the places, people, or routines you've outgrown. It's ahead of you, just beyond the fear, beyond the uncertainty, beyond the moment when you finally decide to let go. So here's the real question. Are you ready to choose yourself? Are you ready to stop settling for what's comfortable and start reaching for what's possible? Because the only thing standing between you and the life you're meant to live is the belief that you deserve it. And let me tell you, you do. You always have. The trap of old relationships, towns and jobs isn't just about where you are. It's about who you allow yourself to become. And once you step forward, once you finally break free, you'll realize something. You were never trapped. You were just waiting for permission to leave. And now you don't need permission from anyone. The door has always been open. It's time to walk through it.